Hi, welcome to another daily devotion. It's great having you with me again today. Today I'm going to work on that third word, tempted, that we have here. Let me read the scripture again though, Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Brethren, if a man is overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. And this is where we're going today. Considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. Now, I've covered the other words there, restore and gentleness, in the previous days, but today I'm going to look at what is meant by considering yourself, lest also you be tempted. And so we need to understand what the word tempted means here. And this is exactly what it means. This word tempted, in this case, means tested. And the application in this particular scripture, in the concordance, it means tested. Now, have a listen to what it really means, and I believe this will explain itself in the process as to why Apostle Paul wrote this. And it means here, tempted, as it's written in the scripture, the meaning is tested. It means to try or to test one's faith. So just hang on to that, to test one's virtue, and also to test one's character by enticement to sin. It also means that the test is that if we will solicit sin. And so you probably got the picture now. So Apostle Paul is saying that, you are spiritual, good on you, you're out there doing it. But this test now that you're involved in everyday ministering, helping everyday people, it's going to come with some challenges, that there may be things that will try to test you, tempt you, whatever way you want to look at it, to see if you have that stand in Christ regardless. And so it's all good and well to go out and help people, to be gentle with people. But I tell you what, when you minister to people, at times they will give you a good story as to why they do what they do, or whatever it may be, hoping that you may agree with what they are doing. And a person who is gentle and a person who is spiritual will also remain firm in the truth. And so, here Paul's saying, now while you're on the road doing this, while you're actually physically doing what Christ has called you to do, there is a warning here. There is something that you need to be aware of, and I'll read it out again, that in the process, your faith is going to be tested, your virtue will be tested, your character is going to be tested. Remember in chapter 5, in Galatians, and verse 25, it said, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. In other words, he's saying, get ready. Now you're going to have to start using what you got, and in the process of using it, there are going to be some challenges, and within those challenges are going to be times where we may feel that, I don't want to have to tell them the truth because it's probably going to hurt them, and they're already hurting. There is a way to communicate truth, and so we are going to be tested. And our character, enticement to sin. In other words, that if a person was formerly, let's say, an alcoholic, and you're ministering to an alcoholic, the test is there to see whether we have been delivered from it or not. It also means here the test if we will solicit sin. I know at times that there are people that, they've got something going on in their relationship, and I say to them, so, are you married? And they say, well, no, we're not married. We don't believe we need to be married. We're married in the eyes of God. And, right there, we can be tested to see whether or not we're going to say the truth. And the truth is that, well, if you're not married, you're not married in the eyes of God. And the reality is you guys need to be married. This is what God has expected of you. And, let's get some natural things in order so spiritual things may flow. And, many times we may not tell them the truth because we don't want to run the risk of offending them. But, this is what this scripture is speaking about. And so Paul's saying here, go for it, get into it, do it, restore a person in a spirit of gentleness. But you just be careful in the process that you're not enticed to sin, or you're not enticed to solicit sin, that you remain firm, you remain fair, and remain spiritual, and finish the mission complete to the end. And so this is what Apostle Paul is saying, and I believe that many of us have been challenged in this particular area of being, do I tell them? If I tell them that it's going to offend them, whatever it may be. But here it is that our character will be shown as to who we really are, and are we going to speak for Christ? Are we going to allow them to pamper them in their sin? And this is exactly what Paul said here, considering yourself lest you also be tempted. So join me tomorrow. We're going to go on to verse 2 of Galatians chapter 6. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.